Hello and welcome to The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and the glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, let's kick off another episode. PlayStation Experience, or PSX, is just around the corner. The 2017 PSX is promising quite a lot. PlayStation's already had some big shows this year at E3, Paris Games Week, TGS, and a whole bunch more, but they're still promising some fairly big things from this event. In this week's episode of The Insider, I'm going to break down for you a few of my predictions as to what to expect and what not to expect from this really big and very close PlayStation event. Join me as we go through some of those now. 2017 is the year of dreams. PlayStation and Media Molecule have promised that the long dormant, long discussed and rumoured and questioned Dreams from Media Molecule is going to return to PSX this year, and they're promising quite a showing. Now, I have a few questions about that. The game's alive, great, that's awesome news, we're really excited for that because Media Molecule are fantastic developers, but when is this game coming? How does PlayStation VR, Move, Motion, essentially, fit into the whole picture, because that's how it was originally painted? What are we going to be doing? Is this more than just a creation game? Do we get to play it? There's a few questions that need to be answered. PSX is close. Let's hope that Media Molecule can do it, but expect a 2018 release date. This game has been cooking for such a long time. There's been so much doubt. If we don't get a release window, and I'm not talking a specific date, but if we don't get a release window, that'll be quite disappointing. The game might still come out next year, but those who are anticipating the game, they need something. Media Molecule, give us something. Number 2, PSX is going to give us a sucker punch to the face. Now, Sucker Punch, the developers of the Infamous franchise, have recently as Paris Games Week, announced that Ghost of Tsushima is the next game, notice I'm saying it right this time, is the newest game coming from that studio. They're no longer going back to that Infamous well, as brilliant as it is, they're trying a new IP. And I've got a few questions about it. We saw the trailer, it looked fantastic, Japanese settings, samurais, really story focused. There's lots of cool things that we saw there, but we didn't actually get much story. We didn't really get an indication as to how we're going to be playing this game. I reckon, and it is only speculation, that we're going to see a gameplay trailer, not a full demo, but a gameplay trailer, as well as a trailer that gives us, or at least a part of that trailer being story focused. This game's probably not coming out till 2019, and that's fine because PlayStation has an incredible range of games that are already on the way, both first and third party, on top of the indies. They're all coming in 2018, they're all looking fantastic. There's lots and lots to play if you're a PlayStation exclusive person. 2019's fine, but similar to what happened with The Last of Us when Naughty Dog revealed that, we got the story trailer. It wasn't that long later that we got a gameplay demo, but the game was still then another 18 months, 2 years away. And that's a totally valid method. Like, I would love to see something here that it's more of a tone piece more than anything else. What are we going to get story-wise? How are we going to be playing this game? If we get that, I'm happy, that's enough. It doesn't need to be on the show floor unless they're just going to be replaying the video. That's fine. But give us a little bit of something so that we know what this thing's about. 2019, I expect. I also really hope that we get to see some gameplay. So Sucker Punch, right here, come on, let's get me. Third point, we're not going to be stranded any longer. If you know what Hideo Kojima is like, you know that he loves a spectacle. He loves E3, he loves PSX, he loves the Game Awards. He loves an opportunity to throw a curveball at players. And what better opportunity, given that we know he's working on Death Stranding, to throw another one at us. He has been surprisingly quiet this year. This is a man who regularly fronts up at many of these big press, public-facing events and loves to show off what he's doing, loves the lights on him. He's not a massive, that's not me trying to insult him, but he loves the spotlight. He's confident in what he does, and he wants to show the world what he's doing. And for us to have gotten through Paris Games Week and E3 without anything about Death Stranding surprises me. So expect that at PSX 2017, that we're going to see a little bit more of the game. It's probably still a long way off. My gut says 2019, 2020, maybe even later, because this is a Kojima game. But at the same time, I'm not ruling out seeing some more from the game at this particular event. I hope that we see a bit more from it at the event, because it's a cool premise, and the conversations that start immediately following one of his trailers are just incredible to observe. So, Kojima, come on mate, let's give us a new trailer. Gameplay would be great. The fourth point is one for the squareheads. If you're like me, and I know there's a lot of you who are, there's a number of you that are big fans of what Square Enix has been doing in recent years. Whether that is the resurgence in their Japanese RPGs, whether it's what's been happening with Hitman, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and much more, there's some cool stuff on the way, and Square Enix has got a lot more still to come. What I'm expecting at this particular conference is 2 or 3 of the following games to rear their head in some particular way. Expect, I think, so I don't say it with a lot of confidence, that we'll get a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 3, potentially a release date. We are talking now about a game that is scheduled for 2018. They have openly declared 2018 as the year. Maybe not a date, maybe a window, but we're going to see something from the game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, it was debuted here at E3. We've seen more at PSX. There's been lots of little teases and things about it. It's meant to be episodic. Maybe that's not the case anymore. I feel like PSX is the great opportunity where there's so many Final Fantasy fans who are rooted in the PlayStation platform. Good opportunity to show off what you're doing there. Dragon Quest XI, one of my most anticipated games. We know it's coming to the West in 2018. It's already out in Japan on 3DS and PS4. Maybe it's at PSX that we get ourselves a release date for that. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is on the way. That's another one that I'm really keen on. Maybe they'll drop that there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is one that's been rumoured after someone took a sneaky photo of the title on someone's computer. We are fairly sure that is in development from not Crystal Dynamics, but one of the Square Enix Montreal studios, I believe. Maybe that'll show its head at last. Left Alive is a game that was announced earlier this year. That's an action shooter, post-apocalyptic, something very different from Square Enix, but who knows how far away that is. And then of course, Crystal Dynamics themselves are working on an Avengers project. There are some cool things going on at Square Enix. Surely 2 or 3 of those ones that I just outlined are going to rear their heads. If I was a betting man, I'd be saying Kingdom Hearts, I'd be saying Final Fantasy, I'd be saying Left Alive. But let's see what happens. It could be cool. Knock my socks off, Square Enix, go hard.
I still don't see why we brought a Shinra soldier along. No way he'd throw all that away for us. What's his name, anyway?
Cloud Strife. And he says it's former soldier. Look, heavy security like this, you want a professional.
My final prediction doesn't have a catchy headline. I'm just going to talk about the release schedule for AAA games from PlayStation specifically themselves in 2018. And now it all kicks off in February with one that we already know about. Shadow of the Colossus is scheduled for the first week of February. It's a remake of the PS2 classic, and it's one that's worthwhile experiencing. They'll reiterate the point that is the February release date, because of the fact that they kind of very subtly dropped it in at the end of the Paris Games Week conference. They'll reiterate that it's coming February, and then they'll quickly bounce from that, because we don't need to know that much more about it. We know what the Shadow of the Colossus experience is like, and expect to just get that release date and for them to move on from there. End of March. That's when I expect God of War. The game has been brewing for quite some time. The franchise has a history of releasing in March. So why not hit that same window? We expect it. It's enough space to give Shadow of the Colossus time to breathe and for them to commit some marketing dollars to that before moving on to God of War and really knocking our socks off. They said early 2018. It fits the bill. Next up, let's talk about Detroit Become Human, a game that I expect to land in May. The reason for this being that at the end of the trailer during the Paris Games Week showcase, Detroit had been given a window of release of spring 2018. That was Northern Hemisphere's spring. So our autumn. That means March to May, with God of War presumably landing in that March, maybe early April sort of window. That is enough time for it to knock the socks off everyone, be the hot topic of conversation for a good month or so before Detroit has its time to kind of come out there and hopefully also knock the socks off everyone. I've been really impressed by this game based on what they've been doing at PAX and several other media and public-facing events. It's a good opportunity for them to kind of have a bit of breathing room and really try and sell as many units as possible, impress as many people as possible. From here is where things get a little bit murky. There's some big games still coming from PlayStation. No, The Last of Us is not one of them that's coming out in 2018. Get over it. 2019 at the earliest. There's two big games still to come. Spider-Man and Days Gone. Now, Days Gone hasn't been confirmed to come out in 2018 at all. They're hoping that it does, but they've not confirmed that. Spider-Man has been officially listed as a 2018 game. I expect, however, for Days Gone to be the one that drops in August. It's kind of the one that gets the ball rolling for PlayStation going into the back end of the year, with Spider-Man then being the game to launch in October, that being the one that you'll see your special edition PlayStations for, that you'll see enormous amounts of dollars thrown at it, and the one that really steals the limelight. Days Gone, kicking off the kind of AAA holiday season, is a great game. The game's doing really cool things. It has a Last of Us vibe. It has the open world appeal of so many modern games. It's a game that ticks a lot of boxes, and whilst if it comes out in that window where there's not that much competition, it spells win for PlayStation. Then Spider-Man, it doesn't matter what it's up against. Spider-Man sells because it's got Spider-Man on the cover. Why not drop it at the busiest time of the year? Because it doesn't matter who you're up against. Call of Duty's even, like, there's different markets there, but you're also going to get a lot of crossover, and people are going to buy both. It won't matter. If you own a PlayStation, you're going to probably buy Spider-Man because he's cool, it's awesome, and the game looks great. It's a big game for Insomniac, a studio that has got an incredible reputation. You don't need any more than that. All the stars have aligned. It'll drop in that window. We've spoken about Dreams already. Expect that to fall somewhere in the year. I really don't know, because that project has been so quiet and it's so heavily discussed. I've got no idea where it's going to drop, but I spoke about it before. Media Molecule can't afford to wait any longer, so expect to see Dreams scattered somewhere through the course of the year. Hopefully not in that holiday window, because it'll get eaten alive.
Come on. No!
So those were my 5 predictions for PSX 2017, an event that is getting ever closer. The conference can be watched by obviously those who are attending, but also you on your couch. Just make sure to be online, probably via the official PlayStation channel, Saturday, December 9th, 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, so extrapolate for your particular time zone, and you'll be able to see everything that Sony has to show. That will include big AAA titles from their first and third-party partners, as well as indies and a whole bunch more. PlayStation typically goes quite hard, and whilst many have thought that they've already blown everything that they've got for this year, that's not a PlayStation thing to do. They've got aces up their sleeve, and they're going to throw a few of them out there at this particular event, so look forward to it. If you want to catch up with any more from Player 2, please make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Everything is down below here, where you can, as a result, catch up with weekly episodes of The Insider, of Patched, the Video Games Club. There's Player 2 Plays, there's a whole bunch of other trailers. There's awesome stuff that can only be found at our YouTube channel, so please, again, like, share and subscribe so you can catch up with me. In the meantime, visit the website. We have lots of awesome written content, reviews, previews, features, opinion pieces, news, and a whole bunch more things that can only be found at the website. That is player2.net.au. And in the meantime, please make sure to catch up with myself. Talk to me. I'd love the conversation. Paul James P2 on Twitter, the website itself, Player2AU on Twitter. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Get hyped for PSX. I'll see you next week.